1, clear!
Welcome to Silicon Valley Unplugged, the future of drone racing. I'm Leah Stamm of Sparknify, here to explore the intersection of creativity, technology, intelligence, automation, and everything in between. In this episode, I'll be sitting down with a few of the Bay Area drone racers to hear how they got into the sport, what they've accomplished, the technical skills behind the scenes, and yes, we'll even get into some of the bigger questions about where this is all headed as technology keeps evolving. Drone racing has exploded in recent years, not just as a high-speed spectator sport, but as a cutting-edge blend of innovation, engineering, community, and today we're diving into where this field's headed. From advancements in FPV technology and AI-assisted flight, to growing accessibility and the rise of global racing leagues.
Where you can fly this thing that people can see from a distance. It's really exciting to watch, but it can take a crash, it can go down, you can put it back up in the air and just keep flying, and you don't have to spend a lot of money to rebuild it. So one of the things that I think is really cool about Formula One, it's really amazing, is it gives car making companies a chance to come out, build these teams, and show that they can be the best and compete against all these other teams and try to create champions. Just like Formula One, this could give these companies a way to come and put a team together, put their name out there, and get their brand recognized.
We're lucky to be joined by some of the most inspiring figures shaping this space. People who are not only racing at incredible speeds, but reimagining what is possible with drones. So first off, we've got someone who's been flying fast and fierce for nearly a decade, organizing multi-GP events with everything from featherweight 20-gram racers to 10-pound beasts. He also runs a drone shops park to support local pilots and educational programs around the world. And I will welcome Tim Germanov. Welcome. How are you doing? And what do you have for us here?
Hey, it's actually one of the 11-inch drones that you just seen on the video, right? That we used to showcase AER, Aerial Elite Drone Racing League. And it's our attempt to kind of push into real racing that's spectator friendly, right? Because for the most recent years, 7-8 years, we've been flying much smaller drones, and it's really hard to see those little flies, zipping around. And we're trying to change that, right? To get into more what can a human being try to catch when you're flying, right? So a lot of LEDs, this growling sound of V8, V12 is what we're trying to achieve. That's what we got.
Very cool. All right, next we have a legend in the drone racing world joining us. As founder of the Aerial Elite Racing Drone Racing Organization, he's known on the circuit as Fairy. He brings together his background as a pilot, designer, and musician to blend the high-speed flight with cutting-edge tech, turning it into an art form that pushes creativity and technical limits. Please help me welcome the incredible pilot and creator, Jon Gaiser.
Hello.
How are you feeling tonight?
Pretty good. How you doing? How's Silicon Valley?
And what do you have for us?
This is also one of the rigs that we use to shoot the promo. Like Tim talked about, we are actively trying to create a new racing league that solves what we hope is about 10 problems of the 6 or 7 other racing leagues we've been flying in over the last 8 or 9 years.
Big ambitions.
big ambitions.
All right. Our next panelist keeps busy not only as a racer of the drones, but also of the planes. The student pilot helped lay the foundations for the drone racing scene we know today. His expertise isn't only with flying the drones, but also engineering and the code behind it. Please help me welcome the incredible pilot and creator, Bryson Hagerman.
Hello.
It's smaller than the others.
This is true. We wanted to try and give a nice balanced perspective. It's not always about the big and the bright and the colorful. This is another side of, FPV drone flying for cinematography, for commercials, for, production shoots. It's a very small, lightweight drone, federally compliant, all the important things,
Very nice, very nice. All right. Last but not least, our final panelist is the co-founder of Space Monkey Films and has launched the Bay Area's first drone racing league. These days, he's at the forefront of cinematic drone work, setting a new standard for FPV filmmaking in the Bay Area and beyond. Please welcome to the stage, Colby Curtola.
So I'm Colby Curtola. I've been drone racing for almost 10 years now. 2015 was kind of when it kicked off. Very first days flying on Treasure Island. You guys know the Bay Area. Treasure Island was kind of a drone-friendly area where we could go and test, and kind of that was where the roots of racing started in the Bay Area. And from there, raced on TV, on Drone Racing League, on ESPN, DR1 Racing, and Eurosport in Europe.
Goggles on, the pilots have entered their own worlds.
Thank you all for being here. I'll get into it with just a general question, opening up about how you guys got into drone racing, whether that was an experience, a person, something of the sort. Tim, if you want to start us off.
Yeah, sure. I mean, my first experience, I think I've seen somebody on YouTube flying a drone just over the trees and like in between the mountains, like fly like a bird. And I remember that immersive feeling, like you were in there, you're a bird, and you can reach the heights that no human being can. And I kept watching those videos for a whole day. I think I spent like 7 hours, 6-7 hours. And then I'm in. And then I built my first drone, then came to Sunnyvale, Baylands Park, and I met these guys. And since then I've been into drone racing. I mean, we're practicing every weekend there for the last 8-9 years.
All right, Jon, and you? How you got into it?
I actually had kind of a different route. I've been working in technology a long time. I used to work for Sony Electronics, and about 2012, 2013, I was on a team that was looking into kicking off like a cinematography division to create camera drones, because Sony's always been really big in the sort of B2B camera space with things like rigs for the Olympics or big sports or whatever. And then it was pretty cool. It was pretty fun to do that for work. And then time went by, and a friend of mine I was doing that with, I kind of dropped off, and then he kept on with the drone scene. And at some point he reached out to me when we were both moved up here to the San Francisco Bay Area, and he was like, "Oh, you have to try this thing." He's like, "You fly the drone, you put these goggles on your head, you see through the drone while you're flying." And I'm like, "Why would you want to do that? That sounds weird." And like, we like, because when I thought of drones, like when we were building those, and a lot of the ones you see, you fly it and you're looking at it with your eyes, and it's like, "Oh, cool, okay, I'm flying the drone." Then after about 10 minutes, you're like, "Okay, that's it. It's there." You get pretty bored pretty fast. And so I tried this thing. I went out with my friend, was flying in the simulator a lot first to get used to it. Maybe like 10, 20 hours in the simulator, and then he gave me his controller, started flying around the park, and I was like instantly hooked. It was like your brain teleports you in and you're flying around the park, and I was like So 9 years later, I'm still going out as much as I can, at least once every couple weeks, once a month to like practice and fly with these guys. And it's like every time I put the goggles on and take off, it's like flying for the first time. It's like you have this out of body experience where you're just like zipping around. It's pretty magical.
Bryson?
Yeah, I mean, kind of similar to Tim. I feel like a lot of us got our first exposure through one YouTube video or another. There was a European race through the trees, and I had always been into kind of RC planes and destroying RC planes and RC cars and destroying RC cars, and understanding that, yeah, you could maybe astral project into one of these things and get a first-person view when you crash into the wall was pretty appealing. So yeah, bought some parts, built my first drone, destroyed my first drone, bought some more parts, destroyed my second drone, and then around the third or fourth, met up with these guys and started figuring out how not to crash into everything, which is first lesson you learn.
Should have brought one of the old drones or put a video up of what 2015 drone racing looks like compared to 2025 is mind-blowing.
Yeah.
We were just literally going like 5 miles per hour. The cameras were flat back then.
The cameras
So
are
the
big.
cameras were flat, so you know the camera angle determines how fast you go. So now we're like at like 60 degrees. So the drones when they're flying, they're flying basically vertical. But back in the day, we were so slow that we'd just fly like a flat camera angle.
So over the years, the quality's changed, is what I was saying. Like when back in the day when we were flying, like Colby was talking about, not only was it really slow and the camera angle was flat, the cameras were giant because they hadn't really been miniaturized yet. And they also looked like the video quality was like, if you picture like a 1960s like rabbit ear television with like static and you can't really see anything. So we've gone from that to like what now is like 1920, 1080, like 90 frames per second HD video. So it's a pretty big update.
So yeah, we used to actually fly. When we first started racing, we did a lot of forest racing. I think it was probably because of that video. And then we broke too much stuff because we were running into trees. So then we went out to open grass fields.
Now we build gates out of PVC, and that usually breaks first, which is nice.
Okay, I have one more little add-on of why I got into this, which is like, I want to say like 12, 10, 11 years ago, I saw a video on the internet my buddy showed me. He's like, oh, look at this crazy video. This guy's flying this drone in the park, and he crashes it, and he kind of loses it. But he can still see the video because he's got the goggles. And then somebody like picks up the drone and they put it under their shirt. And they're like walking around, and then the person with the goggles, they go and they find it. And they're like, hey, we know you have this drone. Like, why are you hiding this drone? And she's like, no, I don't. She's like, I'm going to call the cops.
Hey, Colby! Yeah? She's got the drone. She won't give it back to me.
You almost wiped me out. This is illegal in the park? No, it's not an RC airfield. It's a glider airfield, you dumbass. You almost killed me with it. I'll sue you. I got a video of it, you dumbass. Hi, Officer Foster. I'm Lisa.
Hi.
Thank you for coming.
Okay.
There's a whole group of these guys, Pops, FPC, whatever, racing.
Okay.
I'm not stealing it, you
Ma'am.
fucking...
Ma'am. Ma'am.
Sorry, he's been following me.
Hey,
Him and his friends were
ma'am,
following me.
listen to what I'm saying. What I want you to do is go have a seat right over one of those logs. I'll be over there in a second, okay? You two come over here for me. Are you? Is he with you? No, he's... Okay. Can you go there's a moment for me, please? Thank you. Here's your property back.
Like, we're allowed to fly out here. And then it turned out like 3 years later, that was Colby's video. I met him 3 years later. But that video I'd seen 3 years before. I was like, this is so crazy. And then I just happened to be running into him now.
So this feeling you get when you're racing at such high speeds, I mean, how fast do these drones go?
We're not allowed to say that they go over 99 miles an hour.
Okay, so at 99 miles an hour, it must feel crazy fast when you have those goggles on, right? It feels like it's your body that's moving, when really you're just sitting there in the chair.
Yeah, your brain makes it real. I'll say it. They go like 150 miles an hour. If you want to come for me, I mean, what? What are they going to do? They're going to write me a ticket.
The speeding ticket.
It's okay, a speeding ticket. Yeah, it'd be pretty cool actually. Get a ticket for drone speeding. Probably the first in the world. Yeah, but seriously, your brain makes it real. I learned a cool term today from a cognitive psychologist. Somebody with a cognitive psychologist background.
Yes, that was me. I compared it to the effect you get, which maybe it's familiar with you. You're sitting in a train or some bus or something, and you're not moving. You're sitting looking ahead, and there's a bus or a car next to you, and it's moving the other way. and it makes you in your body feel like you're moving. Does anyone know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So there's that feeling, and then all of a sudden it clicks in your mind, and it's like, that's not actually happening, right? It's one of those visual cues that your brain makes you feel that way in your body, right?
But it has a
But
cool
it's not
name,
really
right?
happening.
Canis something,
Yeah, it has a cool name.
which is
If only I remembered it.
ChatGPT help us.
kinesthesiology, kinesspatial.
That's when you're
I wanted to
That's
like
something
make
else.
that the official name for this now, but we can't remember. We'll look it up.
optokinetics.
Optokinetics. That's the official name for
Optokinetics.
this effect.
I want to add that probably first 10 minutes you get the motion sickness, and then you get used to it pretty quick.
You got motion sickness? You got motion sickness? You got motion sickness?
Very first time when I flew it, yes.
Don't listen to him. I never got motion sickness.
No thanks.
It's worth it.
When was the last time you were flying?
A lot of us used to fly standing up, and there's lots of photos of everybody collectively leaning at about 45 degrees. And we all now sit in plastic chairs when we fly for that exact reason. So.
I've seen the videos. For people who haven't, it looks like this. And they have their little things right here and the glasses right there. It's crazy.
The fast guys don't do that.
Oh, sorry. Do you guys all want to do a demo of what it looks
The
like?
fast
Yeah,
kids
show
are
us,
just
show us
like
like
this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's-
Levi. That's like Levi. There's this kid from
It's
LA.
even less engaging than you made it seem. Yeah.
He's just like
So
totally
hey,
still
stop.
like a Buddhist monk.
This is the reason why my wife said, like, this is the last time I'm coming with you to the park, and I've been to the park like over 1,000 times. So she came once and said, hey, what's the point? Like, you guys standing there like trees, holding the radios, you're not talking to each other, okay? You're not communicating, you're flying these things, and then you pack up and go home. What's the point?
Parallel play is what they call it. In young children. Two kids, they sit next to one another. You know, they don't really talk, they don't really interact, but
It's the future. Come hang out with us, but don't talk to us.
This is the most complicated thing I've ever did in my life, and these guys can confirm it. The amount of knowledge you need to build a drone, to program it, to fly it, operate it, to maintain repair it is just insane. And without the support of the community, you're not able to do it. The learning curve, right, is very steep, right? And after a couple of months, when you break your drone for the first time, you're like, I'm not doing this ever again. So this kind of this group buys grew into like a little warehouse in my garage that I'm doing, and then I developed a frame with another very smart guy who is an ex-Red Bull engineer, and then started selling frames and drone components. For the first time, 2 years was nothing, right? And I learned how to run LLC, how to run e-commerce. And now I think it's kind of kicking off. I have some payback. I can sponsor pilots, sponsor events.
So tell us about like the races themselves. How do you prepare? What does race day look like? Do you have like a pair of lucky socks you put on in the morning?
I can take that one since John's looking so energetically at me. No lucky socks, but the racing is an interesting experience because ultimately, as fast as these things go, they're limited by battery, and most races are over in about 50 seconds or less. And
Wow.
yeah, so that's 3 or 4 laps, 10 or 12 seconds a lap, and you don't really get much more electricity to keep flying after that. So it's a lot of prep, it's a lot of effort, it's a lot of practice, and then it's basically just a whole lot of deep breathing and trying not to freak out in the minute that you have to try and get a clean lap and not crash or crash into your friend.
It's not like car racing where you can look over your shoulder, you have rear view mirrors, side view mirrors. All you see is right in front of you. So when you're racing with 8 pilots around a track and everyone's about the same skill level, you have a lot of collisions that are just uncontrollable. And so it can be pretty frustrating.
4 or 5 days is just long enough to forget the pain, fix your drones, and then you're back out there.
We have a little called tiny drones. They are 65 millimeter, like I'm showing it, the size of the drone. And we run races at Dave & Buster's in Milpitas. If somebody wants to come over and race with us, you're welcome. It's every month. And
Was that an invite?
I was an invite. You're welcome.
I'm in.
Yeah, so if you want to know more about that, there is a league, the whole league that we are part of. It's called MultiGP. And all of us are chapter organizers, so there are multiple chapters across the United States.
For the racers, they don't charge a fee. For the chapters, it's just this community, grassroots. It's the largest, actually I think the largest drone racing community on the planet. It's called multigp.com, and you can find our chapter is called Bay Area Racing. MultiGP is the website.
So I have a question that kind of loops us back to this whole Sparknify, human versus AI topic we love. Do you see a world in which not only the flying of the drones, but the piloting, the navigation becomes autonomous as well? And what then does that mean for your beloved sport of drone racing?
I think to Tim's point, the human maybe had hours of practice, and this computer program that they were training essentially had years and years of compute time to get it right, and that was on one track, statically built, unchanging. And something that is really fun for the hobby and the sport. Every weekend is a different track. It's a different layout, it's a different set of moves, and you basically have to learn and memorize that as a function of practicing throughout the afternoon. And novel situations are still very tricky for AI like that.
Well, you're asking people to like empathize with like a little like machine flying around in a grass field. It's like there's no like connection between that. People watch soccer or basketball, they've played basketball, they can kind of relate, they can understand what the person's doing, and there's a natural emotional connection. And so some of the things we're trying to do with this league is actually introduce that. There's like this idea of a court, and there's like manual pit swaps where you plug, and you have to, and there's like an offsides line, so like a hockey or soccer. So you get a penalty if you're offsides, and the people have to run out, and they can't run out till the propellers are stopped, and then they have to swap the batteries. And we did a big test of this in Indiana a month or two ago, and did like a sort of informal survey after, and sort of unanimously across the board, we're like, what's the most fun thing to watch as a spectator? What was the most exciting? And everyone's like, we loved seeing people like sprint out and change the batteries.
Do you name your drones?
I number them. And my number one is usually the one I hate the most. It's like
their lifespans are way too short to get attached.
Yeah, the first piece of advice I got was don't get attached to it, because you're going to break it, and then that hurts. So, but yeah, to kind of build off of what you're saying with the human component, part of the difficulty is most people, because of the proliferation of AI, assume there's no human component involved in this at all. We'll play them video of our footage, they'll watch us live doing it, and they still assume there's a switch somewhere that helps you fly the drone. The skill ceiling, like Tim was describing, is pretty astronomical, and most people just don't actually believe that it's a human at the controls when they're watching a live full-speed race.
For me, it's not like human versus AI, but it's like AI with like AI lifting up humans.
So there were no drone jobs 3 years ago, annually paid, like that you would get hired to fly a drone. Right now, Hollywood is swarmed with these kind of offerings. Any of us can go and get this job.
We've flown through SFO Airport, through the terminal to get video footage for them for their website, for their new remodel. We flew through like Chase Center, so it's taken me all these like really cool experiences.
Is there a market for this, like kids coming up and learning how to do this thing? I think it's just going to get bigger and bigger because, like you said, everybody expects it now. There's just a bunch of people we know that have ended up in now they shoot the Super Bowl and they get flown out to like car races and the reason that they can do this and they're so skilled and so reliable is because they spent years and years flying these things at high speed, racing against each other, trying to do this without crashing. So it really develops a specialized skill. So it's kind of like a secret cinema training course, I guess, built into racing.
So yeah, this drone here, this little guy, this is what I use typically for filming, and if you believe it or not, there's actually a GoPro 14 inside of here. So the camera on the bottom is what we see with our goggles, and then the lens on top, that's the cinema camera, the GoPro, and then the GoPro body is just taken apart and it's inside of the frame. So that's what you have to do these days to get to be legal, basically, to fly over people. So we use this for concerts, sporting events, all that kind of stuff, and it gets 4K footage.
But it's actually pretty cool. I mean, you didn't really go into it very much, but you had to fully custom take apart the GoPro and like rewire it and integrate it with the guts of the drone.
Yeah, I mean, they're basically like, I always call them like little hot rods, because you buy the parts from like all these different stores and kind of get a vision in your head of what you want to build, and then you kind of put the motors on, the powertrain, decide what you want to use for propellers, which would be like the wheels of the car. You want like more like speed or more endurance, and so it's kind of fun to spec it out like a little hot rod. Yeah, I'm just gonna show them kind of the cinematic side of this, because that's what I do now, is like transition from racing into more like work-related stuff with drones. Doing a lot of like small to medium-sized like filming jobs. A lot of like real estate is pretty booming right now for like drone footage, obviously. But yeah, like doing like car commercials and anything like where you need like high speed, like sports and that kind of stuff.
Kind of as an extension to that, I mean, the cinematography angle is huge, but I also wanted to talk about, the drones and the racing is very fun, but it's just silly because we enjoy it. And there are still other applications where I think, like Jon was talking about, the AI and the drone and the human kind of intersect in a nice way. We have a friend who's unfortunately stopped racing recently, but that's because he went off to go fly drones in Patagonia, where they're doing geospatial data collection for forestry management. And I have childhood friends back on the Big Island who are flying drones for their volcanology program. Similar situations, an active volcano is a little novel. You can't really trust AI to fly around perfectly, and they need somebody in the pilot seat for those kinds of things as well. And it's immensely cheaper than hiring a helicopter, which is what you always had to do in the past. So.
Okay, that reminds me of my favorite non-racing application ever. We had this Kelvin here in the audience put on this drone expo up at Treasure Island, where all kinds of drones, these big agriculture drones were there, and he was showing us this agriculture drone. They were talking about how there's like a very specialized industry where they can load it. It's like bigger than this stage. They can load it up with stuff and fly it over, crops to like help the crops. And they were saying, there's like this one person that they specialize in Napa Valley helping the grapes. And what they do is they fill these giant containers with ladybugs, and they go and they just release ladybugs into grape fields. And I'm like, that could be my future. That's like, it's amazing.
Loading ladybugs in the container.
Scooping them in. I mean, it just sounds magical, just releasing ladybugs into the world. Like, that's the kind of drone future I'm looking for.
Half of those things are getting chopped by the propellers, right?
No, they're under. They're
Hush.
Don't spoil my dream. It's my dream, Colby.
So thank you for watching Silicon Valley Unplugged. A huge thank you to our incredible guests, our panelists for sharing their insights, experiences and vision, and to you, our audience, for tuning in and staying curious. This episode was brought to you by Sparknify, where we explore the edge of human creativity, technological innovation. Until next time, keep exploring, keep building, and stay curious. Thank you.